Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of What Happened Crypto. My name is Steve. Today I want to talk about Grayscale GBTC liquidation or selling and how it's affecting the Bitcoin price lately. Let's get into it. So initially we have the Bitcoin ETF launch from Grayscale. The symbol is GBTC. They originally already have a lot of Bitcoin holding from the previous bull run, right? Now that they converted it to a ETF, there was a bunch of liquidation from FTX. FTX was selling about $1 billion worth of GBTC during the bankruptcy liquidation to return money to the creditors. So we initially saw a big outflow selling, and then it subsided. And that's how Bitcoin started to rally and go up. When the Bitcoin ETF was launched, that marks the day of the launch. A lot of selling coming from the FTX liquidation, $1 billion worth. And ever since that, the selling subsided, and slowly Bitcoin price started to go back up. And we thought that was done, but nope, that's not it. So now we have other news coming up. Genesis also received approval from the court to sell about 1.3 to 1.5 billion dollars worth of Bitcoin, because Genesis is also going through its own bankruptcy, and they're trying to return money to their creditors. Of the 1.5 billion dollars worth of Bitcoin, some of it is from the hedge fund company, Three Arrows Capital, which they went bankrupt, and then some of it is from the Gemini Earn program. Genesis was holding that for them, and so now they got the approval to sell. And then another big chunk of the GBTC also will be sold, which will be worth at a market price of about $1.3 billion. That will be the Gemini selling that as well. So during the FTX collapse, Gemini is involved with some of the GBTC that it was holding. Most likely it was lending it to FTX for FTX to do the operations. And so now Grayscale has finally agreed to return the GBTC back to Gemini lenders. And as we all know, Gemini is also going through its own bankruptcy. So they also have to return the money back to the creditors. And so that would be about $1.3 billion worth of Bitcoin in today's market price. So what that means is we are going to have about $3 billion worth of Bitcoin that will be being sold. Not all of it will be sold for sure, because the way that they're returning the money back to the creditors is they're doing it in kind. What that means is they're going to return Bitcoin if that's the asset that they were holding for the creditors at the time of the bankruptcy. So when they return the Bitcoin to the creditors, not all of them will be selling the Bitcoin, but I think it's fair to say that a lot of it will be sold, as we can see from the FTX liquidation that they were selling the GBTC. So initially we saw the outflow, right? That was about worth what? $1 billion worth that FTX liquidated, and that actually drove down the Bitcoin price a little bit. You can see right here on launch day, and then that started to sell off for a week or two. And so now we have about 3 times as much, because 1.5 billion will be from Genesis and 1.3 billion will be coming from Genesis going through the bankruptcy and returning the money to the creditors. So the interesting thing is the judge approved the selling on February 14. And if we look at the date, February 14, right here is the last run up on Bitcoin price about 2 weeks ago. And then ever since that approval, we can see Bitcoin has been going sideways between $50 to $52,000 range. So we can, reasonably suspect that they has started returning the money to the creditors, and the creditors started selling the BTC holdings. And so I think we just have to wait at this point. If you need more evidence on this, you can refer back to this GBTC daily flow chart. At the top here is 0. And then as you go down, that means selling. They are selling their Bitcoin holding. And so initially at launch, there was a lot of selling from FTX. Then it started slowly decreasing, right? And we thought, oh, that's done, now we can finally get a really long Bitcoin up run. Not quite yet, guys. Hate to break the news to you. Now that we have 3 times as much as the initial selling from Genesis and Gemini. And so I think it's actually not bad, considering the selling isn't that bad compared to the initial FTX selling. So I don't know if the selling is complete, we don't have any news yet, or they're going to continue and actually it's going to be even way bigger selling, that we're going to create another big down run right from here to go down even further. So we just have to wait this out and let the supply and demand work it out. We know all the other Bitcoin ETF taking a lot of money to buy Bitcoin as an asset. And so that is canceling out some of the GBTC selling. And so we just have to wait this event out. It's not that bad. We have seen the selling from that $1 billion that drove down the market here. And so we have 3 times as much coming, and we're only going sideways for now. Once this is done, if you look at the more long-term perspective, the fundamental is up. The demand is there. We have new Bitcoin ETF launched. The daily inflow is positive, has not stopped. The inflow continues to come in. From what I understand, most of the institution money have not come in yet to buy the Bitcoin ETF. Right now, it's mostly consumer based, maybe people's retirement account from individuals that's driving this up. So that's all for today for this episode. Peace out. Have a good one.